Hey, Sean. We're here at Soniscope Studios. Trevor Draven from
God's Money Shot, or GMS, depending on how froggy you are with it.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for
No
doing this.
problem. Thanks for having me out.
So, how did you start with music?
I've always been involved in art some way or another. You know, I was in school band, choir, stuff like that. But I literally, I saw a video when I was a kid. It made me just want to be a musician. And that video was Smoking in the Boys' Room by Motley Crue.
Hence the shirt.
Yeah, ironically, it just worked out the same thing. And this was the one I was wearing today.
So when you started playing, what did you start playing on?
The very first instrument I started playing, believe it or not, was flute. And it sucked so bad. Literally, they put you in like sixth grade band. They say, "What does everybody want to play?" And everybody wanted to be a drummer. And that filled up real quick, right? Yeah, that filled up real quick. Yeah, and then flute was the only thing that was left for me at the time. I hated it. Moved to saxophone after that, and then found the bass guitar.
I gotta say, I mean, that flute part in Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Right?
I mean, that ranks right up there.
It is, right? If you look at the extended live, double live edition, it's jazz flute all the way through the entire solo.
I guess what made bass a good idea? Or who tricked you into thinking bass was a good idea?
I was told it was the easiest instrument to learn to play, the hardest one to master. And that kind of resonated with me, and at the time, I was trying to get my foot in the door with a local band, and they needed a bass player, and I was like, well, I'm a bass player. And I went out and I bought a bass guitar, and within 2 weeks learned a couple chords, and off I was running. Band lasted about a month.
So what else do you play then?
Currently I can play a little bit of drums, keyboard, saxophone, a little bit of regular 6-string guitar, bass, djembe.
Are you recording the whole album yourself at this point?
There has been that thought. One day there's probably going to be just a solo project for me in the works, just stuff that wouldn't really correlate with what we're doing in that band.
From first getting demoted down the line from flute to sax into bass and all that, when did it trigger for you, like, oh, I've got to get on stage and perform?
Yeah, it was about the time that I picked up the bass. It was around 8th grade for me. I had gotten a taste of drama club and been out and gotten the acting bug, and wasn't really good at it. I couldn't remember lines. Just they're always telling you to do your blocking and stuff. And I found out that musicians get all the same grandeur of being on stage and all the same applause, and you don't have to pay attention to any of the stage.
They don't have to remember any blocking.
No, there's no blocking. There is somewhat of a script, but you're free to interpret and your art can flow. So that was definitely the big bug for me.
When you started off, was it, I'm going to write my own songs now, or was it just, let's learn how to play Smoke in the Boys' Room, let's learn...
a lot of it was, and I stayed away from a lot of covers really early on because I really wanted to establish myself and find my own voice in it.
How'd that work out?
Fairly well. I still found that I'm a very bitter asshole.
Still shouting.
Yeah, I'm still screaming.
Whatever it is, I haven't worked it out yet.
Yeah, no, a lot of therapy for me, but no. I really, I always wanted to make my own art and share it with the world. That was always my big thing. I've just always been really artistic.
So were you singing right away as soon as...
For me, I was always doing backups when I first started, and then we kept losing singers, so I ended up taking over that spot in the meantime, and then we'd get another guy in, we'd get him trained up, and we'd lose him for another reason. Finally, we just got to the point where I said, I'll do it.
Were you the one starting bands, or were you joining bands and then just writing?
At first, the first couple I joined up with, and then I started finding out it's just easier to go out and find the people you're looking for instead of jumping into an established band that, whether you have a vibe with them or not, you're coming into something that you didn't really put your stamp on. Yeah, through my career, it's just been weird. I leave one band and I'm like, well, I don't want to give up, so I'll go and find out whatever band's broken up before or whoever's on the market, just go start talking to people and jamming, and it usually becomes a thing right after that.
How did you get to God's Money Shot?
Well, a couple different bands. I was on a couple different onsets. So we went on the Warped Tour with a band called Feedback out of California. 1997 to 1999, we were on the Levi's third stage. So After that all broke up, I moved up here, which was in 2001, and formed a band called State of Grace. Started opening up at the Grail, doing the Knitting Factory, and it was doing really well. Drummer ended up getting cancer, lung cancer, and we kind of all just folded right there. We didn't want to continue on without him. We kind of retired that. Started another band called Prior Sin from the ashes of that band, and same thing, kept getting about the same kind of gigs, opening up for national bands, and then it just, egos kind of drove it all apart, and really good friends with everybody still, but I left that one, and God's Money Shot was right around the corner, and it became 3 weeks later God's Money Shot.
And then did you record or just keep playing and?
Yeah. We started recording. We fell into the trap that most of the bands that I've been in does, and we always start out saying we're not going to do it this way, but you get everything lined up, you start to want to record or start recording, and someone goes, "Hey, this band just called yesterday. They got a gig for us. We should go do a gig." And so we go out and we play one show, and that show turns into 3 or 4 shows, and 3 or 4 shows turn into a dozen. Next thing you know, it's 5 months later, you have half of a song recorded, you haven't gotten back to it yet, and it's just been a real pain in the schedule.
But it pays to play the shows.
It does pay to play the shows, because you build an audience up. It just, unfortunately, for the time that I've had in the past, we didn't get back to recording.
So from, I guess when was God's Money Shot first?
I want to say about 4 years ago.
And then how did the lineups evolve?
God's Money Shot started from the ashes of Prior Sin. We had just parted ways with the lead singer from Prior Sin. Started taking over, like I said, jamming with these other 2 guys. Took the songs that I had written for that band and brought them with me.
That lineup isn't the lineup of, say, today.
No, we've been through 3 guitar players since that time. Right. Yeah, we had a problem with one guy. He couldn't keep his hands to himself, and it caused a lot of tension and problems in the band. Don't touch another man's guitar, don't touch another man's woman. It's pretty simple. So we ended up losing him. That was JP, one of our first guitar players. And it was right. Shut up, JP! Great guy. It was right before a show that we had at the Center too, opening for Davey Suicide, and the drummer and I, Jeff, we had a moment where we're like, well, we could cancel or we could keep going. So we just went out, it was drum and bass, and we went out and did a 45-minute set, opened the show. We ended up taking a coffee can filled with rocks and cigarette butts and putting it on a stool next to a guitar and an amp, and we told everybody that he died from herpesophyll gondylate. Just a really, really bad case of syphilis. But since then, yeah, we've had a couple other guys. We brought one guy in, totally thought he was going to vibe with us. Nice guy, really, really liked working with him. All they wanted to play was death metal. Couldn't get behind it. And just after 6 months, we hadn't gotten anywhere closer than where we were, so we cut him loose. And one other guy came in and auditioned within 2 days, or 2 rehearsals of being there. Wanted to change the band name. Wanted to change everything about it, wanted to start doing covers, wanted to turn it into a cover band and doing 80s cover rock. Out he went. But yeah, and then recently I ran into, we're about 3 months into it with this guy, Quay Omby, really good friend of mine from high school. I ran into him, and I was like, I really want to start playing again. I'm like, why don't you come over on Sunday? So he came over to my house and jammed a little bit, and within 1 practice, he knew 6 of the songs, and we had 2 covers down. So we kind of just looked at each other and went, "Want a job? Stick around."
You're not death metal, so what would you call yourself, genre-wise? Because they make us call ourselves something.
I know, we always have to be pigeonholed into something.
It's not a pigeonhole, but honestly, I mean, it helps to be able to describe it.
What did I say? I said it to somebody the other day and had them really laughing. If Rob Zombie raped Motley Crue and Primus recorded it, and then you had 9 Inch Nails mix it down, that would probably be with what you ended up with us.
That's good. I used to say if the Foo Fighters tried to be the White Stripes, we would totally open for that band.
Yeah.
So I guess in that same vein, who do you think you're ripping off?
We hear a lot of old White Zombie. Definitely, there's some Primus. We try not to write every song to sound similar. We want to have an eclectic view. Two of the guys in the band are avid Kiss fans, and you'll see a lot of that flair come into it. There's a lot of Peter Criss sounding stuff behind me. A lot. Nothing wrong with that.
So,
It's a good time.
for yourself, who's done the most for you musically?
Oh, shit. Now you're trying.
It's just a wordy way of saying, who's your inspiration?
Right. Definitely got Nikki Sixx in there, just theatrical wise, and because of my love for the band. Really like what he's doing with 6 a.m. Ryan Martin from Mudvayne, always huge. Les Claypool, of course. You know, I don't know any bass player that doesn't throw Les Claypool out there. Sid Vicious, absolutely love that man, not for his talent, but just for his showmanship. Shit, even Buckethead puts me there. I like really obscure, avant-garde, weird people that take that to the next level. That one guy, I don't know if you're familiar with any of his stuff. I don't know if you can consider him a bass player because he created his own instrument called the whalebone. It's just rigged up with bass strings, and look it up. It's that one guy on YouTube.
So, are you doing, I guess, for the whole throughout the band, but maybe this lineup in particular, are you doing all of the writing, most of the writing?
Currently, yeah, a lot of it, what happens is like I said, we have those core songs that just follow us around, and that's what we bring all the new guys on with, and then from there we'll branch out, maybe do a cover or two just to find out where they're at, if the styles are right, and then what I like to do as far as writing, especially when I've got a group involved, is just start an open jam, and if we find a riff that works, keep hammering on that riff, throw a bridge in, and then the chorus from there, and then start lyrics after that. I like to build a core foundation before I start putting any embellishment on top of it.
So when you're writing, when you're doing, finding it down to words, is it like, oh, the pain inside, get it out kind of stuff, or is it observational lyrics, or you trying to tell stories, or
a lot of it's story driven. I like, much like writing a book, a beginning, a middle, and an end to whatever I'm doing. For us though, a lot of it's just like, I don't know, I hate to use the term sex, drug, and rock and roll because it's so cliche, but we like to angrily punkify a lot of the 80s mentality of, you know, just go out there and have fun. For us, we want to give entertainment to people, and a lot of that whole woe is me, sad, sappy, you know, acoustic stuff, which I might do later. You never know. People kind of get burned on that, you know. People don't go out and have a good time with that kind of stuff.
And I don't think there's a shortage of people doing it.
There is not. You know, we're highly visual, a lot of props in our stuff, a lot of in-your-face stuff, and we're very highly energetic. You're not going to be sitting there just staring at us, you know, slightly moving your head. We're there to make your feet tap and get you up out of that chair.
Say you got to pick one song to throw in somebody's face to get them into your band.
Mine or a cover?
Yours.
Well, we got two of them. Just a Tip and Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll is two of them that anybody that comes in usually go, holy crap. Really?
That's one of the
those are the hooks. Yeah, those, especially Just the Tip. That's always our closer because we always leave them wanting more.